Okay, so buenas tardes. Here's just a little bit more as far as accents and other things are concerned. I had two people reach out to me with other strategies as to how to do it, and honestly, they're both really good. So I figured I'd do one more of these, and so let me turn you guys around here. And the first one is once again in Microsoft Word. Okay. For those of you that have Microsoft Word, of course. Another way to go about this, once you open up a document, okay, if you click on Review, all right, now you see this. Do not use Translate. Translate is awful, okay, and that's kind of cheating. So don't hit Translate, but if you hit Language, okay, and then you click down to set proofing language, all right, you will find like all of the languages that Microsoft Word can function in. There are literally pretty much, I think, almost every language on the planet. Afar, which I guess they speak in Ethiopia, Afrikaans, Albanian. For those of you who speak Arabic, it breaks it down into the different dialects of Arabic. Algeria, Egypt, Jordan. You know, if you speak Armenian or Basque, or for those of you who are Bosnian, it can also do Bosnian and stuff like that. But obviously, for this class, we're worried about Espanol. And for the most part, I use one of these three. If we kept scrolling down, you would have seen like all the different dialects of Spanish. So sometimes I use Spanish Latin America, sometimes I use Spanish Mexico, sometimes I use Spanish from Spain. So for now, we'll just keep it simple. We'll just say Spanish Latin America. Okay, gonna click OK. And so basically, what happens now, you have just made Microsoft Word into Espanol. And so you know how when you type, here, let me turn this around real quick. You know how when you type, Microsoft will tell you when you've misspelled something or if you need to fix the grammar. Well, now Microsoft is going to do it, but it's going to do it for Spanish. Okay, and so for example, I could type something like "Me llamo Juan," okay, and I purposely spelt it wrong, okay, and so I'll hit enter, and suddenly there's a blue line there, and it's like, what? Because as you know, llamo is with two L's, okay, and so it will, correct it for you, all right, in that regard, and even if you type in, and I apologize, I'm doing my best here, de donde eres, which hopefully you know from this chapter means where are you from? Okay. Oh, hey, why is donde being highlighted? Well, because donde should have a question mark, or donde should have an accent mark, but then it highlights everything again, and you're like, what's going on? Well, because remember that in Spanish, all questions begin with an upside down question mark. Okay, so it will fix that for you. Okay, let's see, and lo siento, that's kind of out of focus there. Necesito más dinero. Okay, I'm gonna click on save there. That just means I need more money, because don't we all? And you're like, mas, why is it highlighting mas? Well, because guess what, the a in mas needs an accent mark. Okay, so it will put the accent mark there for you. Okay, and then the last example I want to give, donde está el baño, but I'm going to purposely misspell it, okay, without the ñ. And so right away it tells you, okay, oops, actually, that should be a question mark, okay. And so right away, it highlights so many different things. So let's see. Oh, hey, guess what? Since it's a question, we need a question mark. Okay? And because it's a question, donde needs an accent mark on the O. And the word está, we're actually going to learn this in chapter 1. Está has an accent mark on the A. And wait, I know I spelt baño right. Oh, well, you didn't. And so, oh, there it is. Okay. And so it will correct it for you. All right. So you can do that in Microsoft Word. All right. The next one is a little bit harder, and especially if you don't feel comfortable with computers. I mean, you can try it, or you can have someone who's a little bit, more capable, someone who knows more about computers. And that is converting the entire keyboard into Spanish. Okay. Now, another student reminded me of this. I normally don't do this because when I learned how to type, I'm old. We still had typewriters. Okay. But when I learned how to type on a computer, it was all keyboard commands. And so that's why I prefer using keyboard commands. But if you go to your taskbar, okay, and let me turn this around again, okay, like I said, you kind of have to feel comfortable with making these changes, and you type in language, okay, you'll get this, language settings, okay, and you can actually adjust the language that your keyboard, okay, and the display languages. For some reason right now, it's kind of mixed. It's displaying in English, but some of the other things right now are in Espanol, okay? And of course, the important one is that one, the keyboard, okay? Right now, my keyboard is set to English, okay? And here, if you see where it says ENG, okay, my keyboard is in English, but once you've made the adjustment, okay, you can, and in this case, I have downloaded the Spanish keyboard. Basically what you're doing is you will in fact be downloading a completely different keyboard, all right? And so I can now set my keyboard to ESP, Espanol, all right? And so, back to this page, okay? What does this do, Mr. Santos? Well, it takes a little bit of getting used to, because if you notice the keyboard, okay, nothing's changed, but if you look at the plus and the equal key, normally when you push it, you get a plus and an equal. But now, when I push that key, I'm getting an upside down question mark. Okay? And if I go shift and the plus equal, you're getting an upside down exclamation point. Okay? So basically you've reconfigured your keyboard to now give you Spanish symbols. I'm trying to remember, is it this one? No, it's not that one. Is it this one? No, not that one either. Oh, this one, okay? The colon, semicolon, all right? Well, now when you push it, guess what? You get nothing but ñes. And of course, if you do shift, you get capital ñes. Okay, so you can also do that. If you're willing to download a Spanish keyboard and then be able to make it, change your keyboard over. There's one student in Espanol 102 that does that. And for him, he says it's a lot easier. For me, I prefer either using Microsoft Word or keyboard commands because that's how I learned how to do it. But it actually is pretty simple once you have made the change over. All right, you just kind of have to remember that the plus and the equal key no longer are plus and equal. And there's a couple other little tricks to learn. If you're interested in those, then just to summarize, you can either change the language of Microsoft Word from English to, one of the many Spanishes. Okay. And of course, for those of you who speak another language, I know that here in Utica we have people who speak Arabic, and we have people who speak Bosnian, and we have people who speak, Karen and Thai and Burmese. You can switch languages into that, or you can go into your computer settings and change your keyboard into a Spanish keyboard. But then again, I guess I should probably get like Post-its and remember which keys do what now. All right, so hope that helps. This one was even longer than I thought it would be, but you can watch it over and over again, or like I said, if you don't feel comfortable, you can always find someone who does know more about computers and have them set your keyboard to Espanol. Because once it's done, once you've downloaded the settings, all you do is go to this corner, and even though it says ESP Espanol, I just hit the ENG for English, and the keyboard, let's see, where's the plus? There we go, plus and equal. Okay, see, it goes back to normal. Okay? All right, chicos, tengan un buen fin de semana. Adios.